Welcome to another installment on Impact Weapons, brought to you by www.knuckledusterbook.com. Today I'm going to be focusing on a custom maker D3 protection, and I've got quite a few saps by Dave at D3. They come in all shapes and sizes. You can find his website, which I'll post at the end of the presentation for you to go look at, and it's well worth the time to check out what Dave makes, and probably get in contact with him if a custom sap is in your future. The first ones that I'm going to show today are based on classic Buckheimer design. This one's based on the Buckheimer Junior, and it was one of the very first saps that I got from Dave. Very early on in his sap making career. Dave is a master leather worker, can make anything from belts to purses to holsters, and when he started making saps, he took some designs from classic saps that were available to him and pursued it from there. This sap, the Junior style, did a great job as usual. You'll probably hear me say that a lot during this presentation. His edges are excellent. The leather he uses is first rate. Dave does not settle for inferior leather, that's for sure. It's a very close copy to the Buckheimer Junior. In fact, I find this one a little more comfortable because typically theirs were a little skinnier. This one, Dave's used 4 plies. And oftentimes the Buckheimer stitching was very close in. Dave's stitching, and then his cutting of the sap and all that stuff, is very close to the edge. He puts a lot of time and effort into making his saps and doesn't charge a whole lot of money for doing it. So that's the Junior. Some saps that I was very interested in and really like are the Smith & Wesson shape, similar to the Buckheimer shape, but with their own nuances. And as you can see with these two, they're very similar. And again, they're in the Smith & Wesson. This was the, I believe, the medium, the B96M, that the shape was derived from. And this is with a stamped lizard skin. Very nice leather, very nice to hold. It's aged very well. This sap's well over a year old now. It's been carried and never really used. Fantastic edges, just absolutely beautiful mirror sheen to them, smooth and as glass. And again, this one has the strap that was typical to Smith & Wesson sizes of this particular sap. And the next one I got from Dave was with a clip, and I really like the pocket clips that he does with just about all of his saps. You can order them with a clip in it. This is great. You can stick it in a back pocket and it won't move around. You can do an inside the waistband carry, so it's well out of sight. The clip secures it extremely well. And really the strap, you know, definitely it has its purpose, but the clip is great for retention within clothing. It works very, very well. You can see how thick this guy is. Just so you know, this is made with a lead patty up front. It's quite a heavy sap, and a tempered spring steel flat spring that is attached to the head and runs the full length of the body. Dave was a heat treating professional for 16 years, so when he started making springs, he didn't just grab any piece of flat steel and call it a spring. His are actually spring steel and extremely well made. So everything about these saps is is phenomenal. Dave knows his stuff. So there you go. That's the Smith & Wesson style. One of my favorites. Extremely comfortable to hold and to carry. Nicely done. From there, I'm going to move to a classic that Dave just started making. This is based on the Bianchi Sap, Bianchi leather holster makers. They still do duty gear, and they still exist and still do a great product. And this is based on the Bianchi Sap, which Dave had in his possession, and made such a good copy. He cast the lead onto a coil spring, and then proceeded to make the outer for it. And if you've ever handled a Bianchi Sap, you'd be very hard pressed to tell the difference, except that this one, the leather is a little bit nicer, and the workmanship is somewhat nicer as well. He took a lot of time creating this one here. So this got the large grommet at the base, and your thong on here. It's fairly thick, nice wide head. You know, it's like a leather billy club, pretty much, except it's got some good flex to it. So it's a little bit whippy. Great design, very, very unique. You don't see this design very much, and it's fast become one of my favorites. And Dave can take a design from just about anybody, no matter how complex, and make it his own. This particular design, again, very unique. Originally made by the Frisbee company out of Oregon. They were out of Portland. And here's an actual original Frisbee. You can see the maker's mark on there. Let's see what makes this unique. Great design, right to the butt. It's got a piece of leather wrapped around it and then stitched in place, and the sliding strap, which also swivels. Beautiful, beautiful, very rare sap, and Dave has taken that design and again made it his own. Same sort of thing. Strap swivels, secured at the butt. Just a beautiful, beautiful sap, and he can make that. It still does. Like I say, he can take just about any design and make it his own. Kind of came up with some fairly unique designs, especially early on, going off of pictures of saps rather than the actual saps themselves. Here's one he made for me out of Python. Absolutely beautiful. It's got a shot-filled head with the spring, and I love snake skins, so this has just been a prize in my collection. It's absolutely beautiful. So there you go. There is a snakeskin sap. And this stuff wears really well. I've had a wallet that Dave made some time ago, and it's kept it's in my pocket every day, and it has worn really, really well. The last one I'm going to show is, again, based on a Smith & Wesson design, the B96S, and it has that unique strap feature where the strap is attached at the head. A little bit thicker than the typical Smith & Wesson, and the leather is far, far greater quality. So there you go. That's it for this edition. And again, at the end of our presentation, I'll have D3's website for you to check out. And it's well worth it. Give Dave a call. He uses tons of different exotic leathers and can tool it and do just about anything you want to make it completely your own. Add your initials or monogram or your favorite gun maker's symbol on there. He can do it all. So thanks again.